In this video, I'm gonna show you daily warm-ups you can use to find a Chester Bennington style fry scream. And when it comes to doing Chester's screams, he's actually balancing a lot of things together. And even if you miss one of these things, then the scream will fall apart and not sound how you want. So the following exercises are designed for you to do every day to remind you of the components necessary to use them. Once you've done them enough, then they'll sink into your muscle memory and it'll be way easier for you to just jump into your Chester fry scream. 1. Finding your head voice. So this first exercise will help you eventually be able to hit the higher screams that Chester does. It's by using what's called your Mickey Mouse voice, hey, aka your head voice. And this is a vocal register that's meant for really high singing. And the more familiar with using it, the more you can tap into it to do higher screams here. Ow! So to find it, let's first imitate the Mickey Mouse voice. And let's do 10 of these using the eval. And repeat after me. And by the way, it doesn't have to be the specific note that I'm singing, but it just has to sound like Mickey Mouse. So let's do 10 E's. So E, 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 E. And by the way, you also don't want it to sound breathy. You want it to sound very present and full. E. Okay, now let's do 10 of these with the eval. Okay, now let's do 10 of these with the aval. Now let's do Now do O. Okay, now let's move on to the second exercise, finding your chest voice. So this second exercise will allow you to hit the lower range of what Chester usually screams like and what he uses for his gritty singing. For example, I'm my own worst enemy. And this warm-up gets you really comfortable with using what's called your chest voice. And it's a pretty simple exercise. So to find it, just use your normal talking voice and say E. While you're doing this, put your hand over your chest and make sure that you're feeling the vibrations there. If you do, then that means that you are correctly using your chest voice. And as you're doing this, it's less about you being able to access it and more about you being aware of what your chest voice is. So the vocalization part is going to be easy. I want your brain to do the work of becoming familiar with what chest voice feels and sounds like because it will make the next exercises easier. So let's do 10 of these with the eval. Once again, it doesn't need to be my specific pitch, but it just needs to be in your talking range. Let's do it together. E, 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 E. Okay, and remember, you also don't want it to sound breathy. He. You want it to sound present. E. Okay, now let's do 10 with E. Remember, keep your hand on your chest to make sure that's vibrating. Now let's do 10 of these with the aval. Now do 10 with Now let's do O. And by the way, if this or any of the exercises in this video are difficult or you want to go deeper into learning to scream, I made a free video you can get by clicking the link in the description right down there, which will go over the anatomy of how to scream as well as different approaches. It'll also show you how to get in contact with me if you're interested in getting more personal feedback about your screams. All of this stuff is free, but click the link in the description if you're interested. Okay, let's go into the next exercise, finding your mixed voice. Okay, so now you're familiar with what head voice and chest voice is. This next exercise / warm-up, whatever you want to call it, is about finding a vocal register known as mixed voice, where it's a blend of head voice and chest voice at the same time. And this is the range where Chester does a lot of his screams and where he adds grit to his singing. And the reason why he uses this range is because it allows you to fluidly move up and down your range. Whereas if you were to use your head voice, it would be limited and going down. I can't go down. And if you were using pure chest voice, it would be limited in going up. I can't go up. Mixed voice is where we can kind of start really adding grit to a lot of the belty choruses. I've given up, I'm sick of feeling, is there nothing you can say? That's all mixed voice. So because everybody's voice is different, the note that you want to use to find your mixed voice will be a little different than possibly mine. So it's less important to sing for a specific note, and it's more important to look out for specific feelings and how the note sounds. And so what we're looking for is we're looking to sing a note that feels between our head voice and our chest voice. And you need to make it get really nasal, and I would recommend using the ah vowel and making the tone as bright as possible. Like this. Ah, 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 ah. And you'll know you're doing it right when you feel the vibrations kind of more in your nose. Ah! Maybe you'll even be able to hear it when I'm doing it. It doesn't sound like chest voice. Hey, this is me, chest voice. It also doesn't sound like head voice either. Ah, it's kind of right in the middle. Oh, okay. So now let's do 10 of these with the E vowel. Let's do it together. Okay, now let's do 10 with the E vowel. Now 10 of these with the A vowel. Now do 10 with the A vowel. Now 10 with O. And if you're new to this, remember, finding mixed voice might be a little tricky. So take it easy on yourself if this isn't something that you get right away. Okay, so the next exercise is learning how to open and close your vocal cords in a very nasal way. Now, this exercise will remind you of the fundamentals that will allow you to add distortion to this and finally get that scream sound. So, do you know how distortion is made? Well, in the case of the type of scream that Chester is doing, he is doing something called fry distortion. And this distortion happens when you take specific parts of your throat and you press it together and make them sputter like this. So an exercise that will help you locate the tissues you need to use, as well as remind you how to close them, is this. I want you to nasally hold your breath like this. And let's do 10 of these with the E vowel. Let's do it together. Okay, now let's do 10 of these with the E vowel. Now do 10 of these with the A vowel. Now 10 with the Now 10 with the O. Ow. And as a reminder, if you need deeper help, remember to check out that free video training that goes a little deeper and gives you the ability to reach out for personal help. All that's for free. Just click the link in the description down below. Okay, so now you know these exercises that will help you find different types of Chester screams. This will give you a whole range of things to work with. From the lower chest fry that allows you to say, I'm my own worst enemy, to sort of the singing chorus, I've given up, to the screaming part where he holds out that long scream, put me out of my misery. By the way, that last one was done in head voice. These exercises will help you fine-tune all of those things. Okay, so now you know the building blocks of how to get these Chester Bennington style fry screams. What if you want to learn how to do deep growls? If you want to learn that, then click this video right here to learn how.